Hi guys, welcome back to England Rugby Analyst. Well, things have got serious, haven't they? I've got my new shirt on, my new England shirt, and England have wheeled out the big boys. And supposedly we were meant to see the proper England take on France in Paris. What happened was really interesting. The pack that was meant to dominate France got dominated again, and they lost. So what I want to do is give you a bit of analysis that you might not have seen and heard already from the mainstream media. Now, having a look at mainstream media, they're looking at individuals and who had poor games, and there were some poor games. But I'm going to look at the other side. I think what people have missed really is the key problem with England in Paris was their strategy and the tactics used to carry out that strategy. Just crazy strategy. I don't get it at all. George Ford, incredibly skillful player. We saw that at the end of the game, making those great tries there. His strategy and tactics at the beginning of the game was crazy. He started off with clever little kicks right at the beginning of a game when you're just trying to get into it. Crazy crossfield kick to Jack Nowell. He's expecting Jack Nowell and Joseph to compete against the likes of Huget. Crazy. First play of the game, first decent possession, he kicks it across field. Mental. I mean, he's literally, I think a lot of England players had forgotten how to play rugby almost in their training camp. They look in great shape, but my goodness me, they needed to keep it basic, hard, compete with France for at least 20 minutes, keep it close, grind them down, then slowly open the game out. And if Lancaster had told George Ford to go out and play like the Harlem Globetrotters pretty much from minute one, then he needs to rethink. If it's just George Ford and the decision makers making that mistake, then they're going to get a rocket, aren't they? Because that was crazy. And they let France get away, and then when finally the game broke up, as it was going to later in the game, England showed their quality and scored some great tries. So basically, I still think England have the players to do well in this World Cup. But if they use that strategy and those tactics, they've got no chance. So as long as they change that completely, I still think they've got a chance. But man, they forgot how to play international rugby. France, that is not how you go about it. France play very solid and hard, a bit boring to be honest, but that's how France are going to be now. England need to start like that, then open up into this game plan that Lancaster's been developing. You can see what they're trying to do: play fast, play wide, lots of pull behinds, lots of decoys. But you can't start like that. That's just mental. So I hope they all learnt their lesson there and combine a bit of the France approach at the beginning and then move into the England approach as the game goes on. So certainly, last video I said that the people who hadn't played had benefited, and it's kind of the opposite for this game as well. So really, this announcement of the squad on the 27th is going to be really interesting. So let's have a little look at the players. I've told you where I think the actual game went wrong, which is more the strategy. The worst player on the park was Binny Vunipola by miles. My goodness, the guy had forgotten how to play rugby. He looked in brilliant shape, quick, fit, powerful, but he clearly left his brain behind in Denver. And I'm not being over harsh here. He was off a line out, short line out, he's off waiting in the back line, 10 metres back, and you're allowed to move up when the ball leaves the line out or the line out moves. Everyone knows that, even schoolboys. He started moving as soon as the ball was caught, not even slightly line out over. He came flying up and brought the back line with him. Why didn't George Ford say, "No, Billy, you idiot, come back"? I don't know. That's just beyond belief for me. And then he was doing other things as well, passing the ball to the French players when there was no English players even close calling for the ball. Bonkers, playing the ball on the floor blatantly. Man, that guy needs a right rollicking. If Ben Morgan's fit, he's going to have to start, purely because you can't have that sort of brainless attitude really. Or if Morgan's not fit, you're going to have to start Easter. Even if he's 37, and then bring on Vunipola for an impact, because man, that was crazy. George Ford, like I said, tactically got it wrong. I think he will learn from that. I hope he'll learn from that. All the stuff he was saying after the game shows that he really realised what he'd done wrong, so that's good, I suppose. Good performances, Luther Burrell. I wasn't sure about Burrell being the big man who could crash the ball forward, make the yards, and that's just what he did. He kept it simple. He looks like a beast, as you kind of expect from his training camp. And I think that is Sam Burgess's chance over. If Burgess is in, clearly the management, the coaches just love him, absolutely love him for all those reasons I talked about in the last video. But England need a big man. Burrell stepped up and said, yeah, I can do it. He was okay in the Six Nations, so I think he's in now. With Barrett, they're your big 12s, and then you take Joseph and Slade as your 13s. I really think that is the obvious choice. So I'm really expecting that to be the centres now. And I think it's right, really, in the long term, because Burgess is going to play as a flanker now, isn't he, in this next year, so it's kind of going to be a bit weird if he played centre in the World Cup. Anyway, we'll see, but that's what I think is going to happen. Now I said it. Other players, front row didn't do themselves any favours again, apart from maybe Dan Cole, who I still thought did really well. He's kind of having to act as the open side flanker, trying to win ball. England's back row were a poor combination. Okay, you got lumpy Haskell, you got lumpy Robshaw, got lumpy Vunipola. They defended for most of that first half and still didn't turn over the ball. Not really good enough. That's why I thought Haskell played well last game. He is a good player, but that's why Wood's going to have to start, isn't he? The line-out was a bit iffy, so that'll help there. Plus he's more athletic, quicker, more chance of a turnover with Wood in that back row. So he's going to have to start for me. You can't have your prop and your hookers trying to turn over the ball instead of the back row. It just doesn't work. They can help, but it just can't rely on them, can you? Young's had a shocker with his line-out again. Again, the extra option of Wood I think will help, but who's going to start at hooker? I don't know. George came on and did really well later in the game when it had broken up a little bit, but that's his first cap. You can't start him in the World Cup, can you? So subscribe and comment over to who's going to start at hooker, because I really am worried about that now. Marlow wasn't great. To be honest, that pitch wasn't great, was it? It was rolling up like a carpet, so maybe give him the benefit of the doubt. However, having said that, Mako Vunipola was excellent again coming on. If he's excellent coming on, maybe keep him coming on, but he's got to be pushing for a starting spot, but maybe keep him as that impact, because he is very good when it comes on. Launchbury looked rusty. First game back, I guess that's only to be expected. Laws was okay. Atwood has a chance, hasn't he, of starting, I think, if Launchbury is really behind the pace. Adds some solidity as well. Talking of the backs, Kerr again. Kerr came on and did much better than Young's. So that's put his credit up, but England's pack was getting smashed. Joseph showed some quality when they had some decent ball, and the other one in the backs I want to talk about was Johnny May. Attacking wise he's great, isn't he? We've seen that, he's fantastic. He was good last game attacking wise. I'm going to put it out there, the one reason why I don't think he can start is when he goes up for a high ball, he goes up like this. Okay, not like this, like everyone else, or even like a basketball catch, like someone who's really confident at catching the ball. He literally goes up like a crab and tries to pincer it in, which is just crazy. That's what you don't teach kids to do. I mean, what's he going to do? Catch it in either hand or something? And the real problem is, when he's by himself, okay, he can kind of time it and catch the ball. But when he was going up with players like Houge and in the World Cup against players like Tommy Bowe, Israel Folau, they'll just come up the middle and take the ball off him like candy off a baby. And we saw that in one of those high balls against France. So just crazy technique. I don't know why the coaches haven't grabbed him about that. So bad, actually, I don't think you can start him if he's going to catch the ball like that, because teams like Wales and Australia are going to do cross-field high kicks to players they see as weak. And if Noel's a bit shorter and you've got May going up like that, they're going to get bombed, aren't they? So here's my other bold call. I would leave Johnny May out of the squad. I like him, but I think that's just too much of a weakness. Cipriani was brilliant again, absolutely brilliant when he came on. I would take the two wingers, Noel and Watson. I would have Cipriani having fullback with Good, and Brown could be your third winger if needed. Okay, I think Good and Cipriani look good enough at fullback that you could have Brown on the wing and not lose anything having those two at fullback. I just think they're better players than May. May's very good going forwards, and if there's an injury, bring him in. But that problem with his catching, which I've seen for a couple of years now, is just too dodgy in a World Cup. Okay, Easter did everything he could do. It's a bit scary, isn't it, relying on a 37-year-old for quality in the back row, but he did exactly what he was asked for. So yeah, there's my prediction. For the squad, Johnny May left out. I don't think he will be, but that's what I would take Cipriani. I really would. And other players missing out. In the second row, I still think Cruz will miss out because Atwood again was decent there. I like Parling's experience. Launchbury will probably still go, although he definitely looked really rusty. Vunipoola's going to have to go, although he looked awful. Let's hope Ben Morgan will probably play against Ireland, and let's hope he goes well there. He's going to have a couple of weeks to get some fitness under his belt. So let's see how right or wrong I am on the 27th when they announce the squad. So post comments below, subscribe as well so you can check out the rest of the videos, and we'll see what the squad looks like. Okay, I'll see you probably after the squad's announced briefly, and then after the Ireland game. So enjoy your rugby.